Um, Hello? Excuse me? What's going on? Hold on a second. Hello? Why am I not loud as usual? Hmm, is my mic fine? I hope it is. I don't sound. Oh no, I sound okay. Well, probably if something is wrong, somebody would tell me. Or I would listen to it later in a what? Hello. Excuse me. What are we doing? Let's just read. I'm not in the mood. Oh no, I'm in the mood. Today's title is the best title I've ever wrote, ever. What a great title. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. This one is so good. Such a good title. Okay. Stop with this. Let's just read. I'm not in the mood for anything other than playing the game. Maria hasn't come back yet. I wonder if she's being scolded by Auntie Rosa again. Even since they had met Maria in the airport, she was constantly being making huge fuss about Halloween. But it seemed she had cut loose a little too much and acted a little too boisterous on a plane, on a boat, and during lunch, because Rosa has warned you several times. At times like that, Auntie Rosa would rarely scold her in front of people. Oops. More commonly, she would call Maria into the shadow and scold her when they were alone. So since Maria had been called off somewhere, they thought she must be getting scolded. When they looked at the clock, they realized that it was almost 6. They couldn't really imagine that Maria has been being scolded this whole time. Perhaps it had come time for some anime she watched every week to start or something. She had probably just decided to stay in the mansion's parlor. It could be that Butler-sama was woken up and they have playing together. Oh, Butler is asleep. I forgot about this. Uh-oh. Well, Maria-chan must have thought of Butler-kun as a sort of new friend. I'm sure she had tons of fun when she played Halloween with Butler-kun at the airport. Butler was messing around a lot himself. That dude's gotten big, but he hasn't changed a bit on the inside from how he used to be. That's true. I get the feeling that Butler-sama was gracious enough to remain as he was 6 years ago. Shannon, you remember how Butler-kun was 6 years ago? Yes, because he was, well, very energetic. I also remember how the four of us used to play 6 years ago. Shan acted a lot like a big sister. Huge Hisui / Kotako vibes? Yeah, I get the feeling she was more level-headed back then. Fucking anime tropes. Can't they just write characters who are made differently? Can't believe this shit. But back then, I, didn't know my place, so... I must apologize for all my poor conduct. There are no need for all those professional manners. You work aside, when you talk in your break life like you are right now, I'd like if we could be friendly together like we were back then. Yeah, totally. There is no reason why you can separate the servant Shannon from the off-duty Saya. You aren't a slave, you just work in a job as a servant, right? Oh my god, Jessica is so reasonable. She's such a good girl. She always thinks about that. I like her. She's a good girl. I think of you, Shannon. No, Saya, as my oldest friend. Thank you very much, milady. It seems that Shannon understood what lurked under Jessica's words, because she had heard a little bit from Jessica and Kan about what had happened between them. Apparently, George was also informed about that, more or less. How are you informed about that? Shannon told you? George approached the window and looked up at the darkening and rainy sky. Kankun is still young, but I think in some ways he tries a little too hard to be mature in his own vein of thinking. Come Come on, quit it already. Well, it's my fault too. I think part of what I got fuck. I think part of it was I got stuck in the atmosphere. And maybe after looking at you two, I got a little bit jealous and started feeling a little rush. There might have been a bit of that too. Who cares about me anyway? More importantly, how's it going between you two? Looks like it's going pretty good, hmm? I wonder. Yes, it's going very well. Shannon was lost for words, her face red, while George answered brightly and immediately. That carefree attitude made it obvious that their relationship was proceeding so perfectly it would make anyone envious. I'm jealous. Does it mean Shannon's gonna be resting and cutting up the cake pretty soon? I wonder. I don't, I wonder, right? How could I know? George laughed like he was being mean and drew closer to Shannon. Ooh, it was probably the way they usually flirted when they were alone. Jessica could only smile awkwardly and say, yes, yes, thank you, that's enough. I have a dream. It isn't only my ambition to become the leader of my own domain in business. I also have a dream to build a family together with a partner I can spend my life with. I want 2 kids at very least, and I'd like to do the same sports that the whole family could do together. And many more things beside that. I often talk with Shannon about that kind of thing. Although every time I talk about that sort of things, Shannon always laughs and says I'm getting ahead of myself. For some reason, even at the age I am now, I already find myself thinking about my retirement and settle down. With my healthy grown kids and grown children running around. About how nice it will be to spend my final years at a slow pace surrounded by that, and together with Shannon forever. You're definitely getting ahead of yourself. But how should I say it? It sounds like you, Judge Nissan. Being surrounded by a family like that would probably be wonderful. Like, ideal families that I printed in my mind when I was younger was something like that. To Shannon, who was been raised in a welfare institute, that harmonious image of a family was probably something she yearned after. And George, who promised that he was definitely granted wish for her, was surely a fitting person for her to spend her life with. Shannon was an important friend to Jessica. It's actually kind of weird that George is not fucked up in any way. Well, I mean, Jessica is not fucked up too. I would, out of a household like they're living in, I would expect them to be more insane than they are. Maybe they're going to be. I kind of hope they're going to be. It would make sense, right? Shannon was an important friend to Jessica. George was surely one of the most fit to entrust that friend's future to. Well, I don't want to throw cold water on you guys, but Uncle Hideyoshi aside, what's gonna happen with Auntie Eva? Wouldn't it be tough to convince her? There is no reason for anyone to worry about something like that. No one can influence my choice of a partner. I will make Shannon happy. Whose permission do I need? Whoa, George Nissan, that was cool. I can't believe you can say something so embarrassing out loud. I thought you didn't used to be so kind of character. Leave a boy for 3 years and you'll hardly recognize him after all. Even I grow up. I plan to study more and more to grow to be a suitable man who can make Shannon happy. It seemed that perhaps George, who has some kind of awareness of how embarrassing the words coming out of his mouth were. I mean, that sounds nice, but it all looks like a scenario where somebody gonna cheat in like 10, 7 years into the marriage, you know? Is there even a way for you all to be alive and have a happy life together? Oh, and also all of this talking about family is literally set up for Jessica, for George and Shannon to fucking die on the first night or something. Really interesting. Also, chapter is called Furniture and People, which is, again about this. Oh, chapter 7! We have like 11 chapters left, that's good. Do you think we can do all questions episode this month? Oh, by the way, happy September! Do you know when I'm gonna stream next? I'm gonna stream on 4th on Monday. And I'm not streaming this weekend at all. It seemed that perhaps George has some kind of awareness of how embarrassing the words coming out of his mouth were. His face turned very slightly red, and he scratched his head. George-san, it's alright. I'm sure Mars will be difficult, but you can leave that to me. I'll show you that I can make the whole family accept you as my partner. Awesome! I'm jealous of you, Shannon, seriously. If you will go so far, then I'm very grateful. Wait a sec, I'm starting to feel like a third wheel here. Maybe I better leave? Smiling awkwardly, Jessica stood up from the bed she was been sitting on, and at this very moment, the phone rang. Before Jessica picked up the receiver, wondering what they wanted, Shannon looked at the clock and was taken aback. It seems that she had taken too long on her break. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I have work to do. If you will excuse me? At the same time that Jessica picked up the phone, Shannon began dashing out of the room. Shannon. Again, same time, same place. Yes. Excuse me. Hello, it's Jessica. Genji-san. Yes, Shannon is heading your way as we speak. We'll help you up, I'm afraid. Please don't scold her. Yeah, okay. I see. So it will be time for dinner as we prepared. As we prepared soon? What was the sentence saying? Oops. Many plates were lined up on the counter of the kitchen, and preparations for dinner were proceeding steadily. The number of plates that were lined up here was 19. That number was one more than they lined up during the family conference every year. I can't accept it. Why can't I deliver it directly? Goro-san was flaring up at Genji, paying no heed to the pot that was boiling over. The master enjoys having his food alone in his study, so the food must be set out in a study. Of course it's nothing new, you understand. Goro-san would really like to set a table for master with his own hands, as he put his heart and soul into his cooking. But the master has imposed a strict rule that none but the servants bearing the crest of the golden eagle could enter his study. So while Goro-san could greet the master from outside the study, not once had he been granted the honor of carrying his cooking into the study. What about Beatrice? Is she gonna go down for a dinner? That's gonna be spicy. Goro-san was always unsatisfied with this. Of course he knows that he is a newcomer in terms of years of service. However, he was accumulated plenty of experience from his previous jobs, and he is strongly confident that he would be able to conduct himself properly, even in front of Ginzo, in a way that would not insult him. And yet, just because he's not permitted the Golden Eagle, he still hasn't been blessed with an honor. Uh-oh. You can probably imagine what the damage has done to his pride. You might think that tonight is a mere resurgence of that old argument, but it isn't. Because tonight there is a person other than the master who wants their food carried to the room. Ooh, okay. Why is Kumasawa-san behind me? That's kind of scary. Apparently this person is a very rare and honored guest, and there was been a strict order to treat this person in the same manner as the master the family had. Where is Rosa and Marine? Goro-san must have wanted to eat some points by serving his honored guest with his own hands, because he's a person of a strong vanity. Oh, so true. If he isn't qualified to serve the master, then at least a guest of the same rank. He simply couldn't make time during lunch, so Karan-san had gone for him. Therefore, he truly desires to serve tonight's food personally, the best dinner of the year. But Genji-san had a problem with that. Something about how Goro-san didn't have the one mean eagle. After being once again scolded that he wasn't qualified, Goro-san has lost his patience. Oh, how heartening, Goro-san. I cannot do anything more than watch like this from the shadow. Why are you always doing this, Kumasawa-san? What's your lore? What is this? Kumasawa-san, if you have enough time to dwindle around, please prepare the dining hall. Is tablecloth ready? What is this pose? Oh my apologies. What is this pose? That's a good pose, hold on. Look at him! What is he doing? Is he fighting? Did he fight Beatrice when he tried to kill him the first time? Is he gonna be alive this time on the first night? I hope so. Kinda wanna see him panicking and running for his own skin or something. That would be fun. When it became your turn to bear the burnt, Kumasawa slowly disappeared into the hole. Beatrice-sama is of exactly the same rank as the master. We must respect the same rules we respect from the master. Goda, you have devoted your attention entirely towards the task you have been given and attend to the family. I don't mind if it's you, Genji-san, but is it really alright to like a child like this go to such a guest? If she made some blunder, it would be quite rude. I know they have served here for a long time, but it's not as though they have undergone proper apprenticeship. If you will allow me to speak freely, they do not have the proper grounding to entertain guests. Oh. Buddha spoke bluntly, even though Shannon was waiting right here in the kitchen. She was right here! Shannon was the one who Genji had ordered to carry the food to Beatrice's room. While the ranking system among the servants permitted the Golden Eagle, Shannon was indeed the second highest ranked. In the highest rank, Genji went to the set table in Kinzo's room, then it fell to Shannon to set the table in Beatrice's room. Buddha Pride was always horribly injured when he was confronted with his ranking system. In times like that, he would speak out bluntly and rudely about Shannon and Kanan. Buddha kept raising example after example of Shannon's past failures, making a ruckus about how this is wrong and that is what's wrong. She was literally grown up in a facility where highest honor was to serve Ushiramiya family. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing, Kora? As Shannon listened to this with her heart hung in shame, she heard Kanan's voice from behind her. Kanan has been listening from a blind spot, leaning against the hallway side of the wall near the entrance to the kitchen. He probably knew that if he entered the kitchen, sparks would start to fly this way. Let him rant. He's a horrible man. But this helps me to build up a ground on how to entertain someone. Kura-san has learned a lot, so that's why So what he has to say is very... Nessan, you sure is nice. More importantly, is the guest in the VIP room really Beatrice-sama, as they say? Yes. I met her when I sent to set table with her during lunch. There's no mistake. It's her. Really? Was she doing well? Kanan remembered that he and Shannon has different impressions of Beatrice. To Shannon, Beatrice was a cupid of love who had granted her magic to create her relationship with George. Judging by her happy expression, it looked like she couldn't wait to inform Beatrice on how her relationship with George was progressed. However, Kanan already knew that witch had come here with a terrifying goal in mind. That Wog witch, in the past only visible to them, had now walked in openly through the front door, and had revived enough that they could now carry food to her. In the past, when she had disappeared from it in front of a cannon, the witch had said something about how her own power was still weak. Now that the witch could appear openly like this, did it mean that she had finally returned to her former power? And she had said clearly that she had sown the seeds of love with the knowledge that it would fail. She had said clearly that the day had finally come when the door to the Golden Land would be open. Shannon, she will perform some bizarre ritual with the master, and will surely do something unimaginably horrible, and no one can resist it. What are you talking about? She came here, as the master requested, so the door to the Golden Land would open, and so that everything would be returned to the Golden Land. She said it to me clearly. Uh-oh. In the past, two of them as furniture working for Kinzo had been told what the opening of the door to the Golden Land meant. Really? Therefore, even without asking a single question or response, Shannon understood everything. She grew deeply hopeless. Something tore at Cannon's heart as she saw her expressions twist with grief. Also, you know? What are you gonna do now? How could... Why now? Didn't I tell you? We are furniture. Because you acted like a human. Because you loved. You can obediently accept the days their service is over. At one time, I used to wish that day would come, but it never came after so much time. I didn't know how long we would have been tormented as a furniture. So I thought the day of rest wouldn't come for all eternity. I thought that too, but I believe that it would be definitely come someday. So I never forgot that I'm a furniture. But Nessan, you forgot this. It's my fault, isn't it? Mine. Yeah, it's your fault, Nessan. If only you didn't know love. We would both be happy that this day has finally come. You build up meaningless attachments, even though it was a world that you definitely have to leave. Will the ritual be tonight? Yes. Also, she said this to me. Tonight, Judge Sama will probably give you an engagement ring, Nissan. That was a fact. Judge should have snuck an engagement ring in his pocket today, and surely he would hand it over tonight. She joined you together, planning to use you and Judge Sama as the sacrifices for the second twilight. Understand? Nissan, she took advantage of you by tempting you. So, that was it. I never thought of that. But she told me she promised that if you don't accept the engagement ring tonight, she won't choose you as a sacrifice. What's the point? If everyone's gonna die, what's the point? I think that the chances of being able to go to the Golden Land together are very slim. There will be 13 people sacrificed, only 5 will be left alive. The chances of us both being a part of that group are really slim. However, if you at least can take advantage of the promise, those chances rise higher. I want to take that bet. Our salvation is in the Golden Land. If we can make this that far, we can become human. And I want to walk through life as a human, together with you, Nissan. If we do that, we might even be able to achieve true love. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do I mean by that, Ken? We used to dream about being able to go to the Golden Land, didn't we? If we got here, any wish will be granted. We will be saved from the pain. We believe that. However, in this ritual, only a few people chosen by fate and chance would be invited to the Golden Land. Everyone else would lose their life as a sacrifice midway through the ceremony. But in the past, Shannon and Cannon had thought that whether they reached the Golden Land or were made sacrifices, it would be all the same because they would be released from their duties as furniture either way. So, in short, the ritual has been something that would definitely grant release to furniture like them. I don't like it. Together with you, I want to take back all the hard times we had. I won't become a sacrifice. You and I will remain alive, and will reach the Golden Land together. So, I won't let you become the sacrifice for the second twilight. Please, Nissan, don't accept that man's ring. If you don't accept it, she promised not to select you as a sacrifice. That's something I can't do. Tonight's ring, very special. My heart won't permit me to not accept it. Nissan, the witch decides the ritual sacrifices arbitrarily. That witch has promised to overlook you, at least Nissan. You at least will definitely be able to go to the Golden Land. Me at least? What about you, Kankun? The witch's game is enough for me. I'll slip through her evil hand. I'm not powerless. I'll grab that small chance and I won't let go. After all, our lives are temporary, aren't they? In order to begin our real lives, let's make it to the Golden Land. Literally, two chairs talking to each other? And let's gain out humanity. And then, maybe like you, Nissan, I'll be able to know love. Maybe I won't have to call myself furniture and make people cry anymore. Karan-kun, I don't want to be a furniture anymore. I'm gonna become human. No more pain. I'm gonna end it all. There were tears in Kanan's eyes. It has taken Kanan until now to notice. Shannon hadn't been the only one to know and suffer the taste of love. He had too. The tears Jessica had shown him that day, and her painful smiles on all the days since she tried to smooth things over and brighten her mood, had slowly drawn some kind of chance on Karan's heart without him knowing it. Hold on, let me go and turn on my IC. I'll be right back. Not even muting. Oops, maybe I should. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Ow. There's a whole dirty dance. Shannon! I've been calling for you for ages. Shannon snapped to reality at the sudden sound of Genji's voice. Apparently, she had been called for repeatedly. She hurriedly answered. Kanan didn't hear that. When she turned around, Kanan has disappeared. It seemed he didn't feel like showing his tears to anybody. Uh-oh. Yes. I'm sorry for being distracted. Yeah, I was just told that I'm gonna die today. Sorry for being distracted. I had Kanan carrying the ledge, but properly speaking, as the next in rank after me, you should have been the one to take it over her. Beatrice-sama is the most honored guest of this house. There is no more honored guest than her. Please, think of her as another master to the mansion and be polite. I must impress upon you once again, please be very careful not to make any blunders. It is quite painful for me to entrust this to someone experienced as yourself, but there is nothing we can do about the house rules. I am sincerely counting on you. God had officially agreed, but he threatened Shannon with an expression that told you that he definitely won't forgive any mistakes. Shannon too thought that Goda should do it if he wanted to do us that much, but considering it as her responsibility, as one who'd been granted the golden eagle, she had to give up. Besides, I wanted to meet Beatrice. What will I talk about? What will I ask? I don't know. Will I show gratitude? Or else grief? Or else... what? I don't know. Shannon loaded the witch's food onto the serving cart and left the kitchen with a slow gait. Gate? The person knocking was Kraus. Father, today is an annual family conference. Haven't the siblings gathered here to get a glance on you, Father? Oh! So Beatrice not coming for the family dinner, really? That's upsetting. Be silent. I have told you I won't leave. I imagined you here, Genji. Why haven't you had my food brought here as I ordered you to? Kimzo screamed through the door. Genji was waiting behind Kraus. Your meal has been prepared so it may be carried to the study. However, Kraus-sama wishes for you to go downstairs tonight. Father, I don't mean every day. Even if it's just for tonight, won't you gather together with your family? Who are you calling my family? When did you start calling those vultures who wait for me to collapse and die family? When did you start calling rotting, gushing maggots family? Oh, he's not having it. My. Rose shrugged at the answer, which he had half expected. Genji, carry the meal here as you were told. Why don't you listen to what I say? Why? Why? Genji-san, I will leave the rest to you. My voice is no longer reach him. Rose gave his head a small shake and quickly turned his back on the door to the study. He had only called out for the sibling's sake, knowing it was useless. After Genji watched Kraus to go down the stairs, he called again through the door. Are you gonna tell him that Beatrice is here? My lord, we have finished preparations for the meal to be carried here. What about serving for Dr. Nanja? Nanja was also in the study, because Kinza was strongly pestered him about resolving their long-lasting chess game. Nanja has been Kinza's opponent since before evening. Nanja had announced that as the doctors that Kinza's days were numbered. In this situation, if Kinza pestered him about finishing the chess game while he was still alive, Nanja couldn't refuse. Kinza was thinking deeply about his move, concerning more than usual. It had been Kinza's turn for quite a long time, and Nanja, who was tired of waiting, had started randomly pulling the grimoires that he couldn't understand and skimming through them. Kinza-san, you won't think of a good move just by folding your arms and sitting in front of the board. I wonder if it would be a good take to break and refresh our minds? Be silent. That should be a no for defense. Will that hole be penetrated by the bishop or the king? Today, Kinza was insistent on a strong defense. Normally, Kinza's motto was that offense was the best defense. However, today was completely the opposite. I'm also hungry. Shall we suspend the game here? And I have used my head so much without the breaks that I'm already feeling dizzy. Any more of this might limit my ability to make my best moves. That's a problem. In chess, both players might always have their best moves. Other moves are painful to understand and ruin the games it is about reading thoughts. That considerably reduces our enjoyment. Kinza sighed deeply and finally shifted his gaze away from the board. Chess needed an opponent. That opponent was trying to suggesting to suspect the game, so what else could be done? It is true that the goal of chess is both players to aim for the victory and make the best moves possible in order to achieve that. It is an intellectual game of being able to read each other. But Kinza-san, are you forgetting there is another goal separate from victory? What? What goal could it be other than victory? It surprised me you wouldn't forget that. Though chess, you get to spend some fun time with your friend, you see? Actually, it's kinda cute. You got me. I believe those are words I said to you a long time ago. I shall have to concede that. Kinzo, who normally wore a frown, surprisingly relaxed his face and laughed. Nanji felt like he had been reunited with a close friend he hadn't seen in a long time. That's how it is. Now that I've taken a shot back at you, what do you think? Will you go down to eat with me? What do you say about discussing Kasparov's middle game over some coffee? A good plan, but I will refrain. I can no longer leave this room, because the ritual has begun. Is that so? Well, my stomach is growling. I will go downstairs. Anytime you feel like it, Nanja. Thank you. Oh, what could you be thanking me for? We didn't resolve our chess match. However, it seems that I have succeeded in the goal of chess which I forgot. It seems it was just as important as a checkmate. This isn't like you. Why so sentimental? You started first, Nanja. You said it, didn't you? My days are numbered. Now go. And don't come to this room again. We shall continue in the Golden Land. Good day, think at the water. Hello. be fine, but it shall be a match. Losing the Rook is a serious blow. Well then, I'll see you later. Yeah, later. Maybe in the Golden Land, or a Purgatory, or in the next world. Means don't forget to drink. Yeah, drinking water. Of course I do. Nanji didn't say anything beyond that, and with a parched hand, he pushed the button on the table that would release the auto lock. Then, after looking at Kinzo's back one more time, he left the study. As he did, Genji's voice came from the hall. Very well, my lord. I will now carry in your dinner. It may be my last supper. I must savor it. Please, get it ready. Certainly. Are your own preparation in order, my lord? Indeed. I have spent my life until today wrapping this room in a multitude of rigorous barriers. Even if that roulette chooses me, I will definitely repel it. I will remain alive, and I will definitely become one of those who reach the Golden Land. How's this gonna work? If they're gonna die in a separate order? Oh, are they gonna die in yeah, they're gonna do. How's this gonna work? Because there was already 6 people who didn't die on the first night, and we're like in a parallel universe right now. That's weird. I will reject the visitation of the I will reject the visitation of the god of death who tried to drag me off to Hades. Why nobody tells Kinzo about Beatrice being here? Excuse me, I have come to prepare your meal. Shan entered the VIP room, bowing her head and pushing the servant cart. The young woman by the window, apparently gazing out into the impenetrable darkness outside, was unmistakably the witch. Oh, so it is Shannon this time. How nostalgic. Your countenance has improved quite considerably, has it not? Unlike Canon. Almost beyond recognition. Thank you very much. Shannon solemnly prepared dinner. There were actually several things that she wanted to ask and talk with Witch about. But those things were all jumbled up, and she didn't know where to start. Her heart was also jumbled up with various things, and she didn't even understand her own emotions. Therefore, still remaining woke, all she could do was to carry out her work indifferently. However, the witch guessed what was in your heart. You can't hide things from a witch. I would apologize, because I am a witch. For what? Come, Canon must have told you about it. Helping your love life was simply a mischievous spirit. It was nothing more than a seed I sowed in order to enjoy witnessing in what manner things would get complicated, become twisted, and fail. There are some who think it is more fun to hear about love than to have it. Surely, you aren't trying to thank me? Yes, I am. No matter what kind of ulterior motive you had when you gave me the magic of love, it doesn't change the fact that you gave it to me. So even if you sowed that seed knowing that 2 of us wouldn't be able to stay together for life, I wouldn't hold a grudge against you. Furniture truly is uninteresting. Cooking it into something interesting is where my skill shines. I don't understand how you think, Beatrice-sama. You are a great witch, and people like us don't even reach your feet. Nor can we even imagine your grand thoughts. But there is at least one thing you could say. What is it? Thank you for teaching me to be human. You said it yourself. I'm no longer furniture. Silence, furniture. If you were a true human, hearing the announcement of your death on the day that you will receive an engagement ring should have you dancing around mad with grief. But what of you? Your face looks enlightened, as though you have accepted everything. Truly an anticlimax, furniture. No, I am not furniture. Silence, furniture. I won't be silent, because I am not furniture. Are you saying you won't listen to my orders? Furniture obeys orders, but the human decides for herself whether to obey orders or not. So I won't obey your orders. I'll take back what I said. You really are interesting. So windy, Beatrice. Make up your mind. If I hadn't sowed those seeds, you probably would be allowed the ritual to control your fate without any emotions at all. But now you have grown to be truly interesting, and you entertain me from the bottom of my heart. That is fine, because I have no love for boredom. I have finished preparations for dinner. Here you go. Doesn't this look delicious? If Goda makes it to the Golden Land, it may be desirable to commission him as my chief cook. I heard from Kanan-kun something about if I rejected George's proposal, you promised not to make me a sacrifice. I did. Although you were an ideal sacrifice for the second twilight. Kanan cried and screamed that I shouldn't pardon you of that, so I graciously listened to his words. With the condition that you gave up your engagement. How gracious I am. What a foolish condition. And what a foolish trait. You bullied Kanan-kun thoughtfully using that, I suppose. Huh? So you can tell. Apparently, Shan has seen through it. Apparently, she could imagine how much Kanan has been bullied and humiliated by the witch, with what horrible promise as bait. I made him crawl on the carpet and kiss my shoes. And that's not all. Do you want to hear the other ways in which I humiliated him? Shannon silently shook her head. Oh my god. I have finally come to understand you. You like to bully, confuse and trouble people, and you do it to entertain yourself. So I'm now sure that it is the only way to resist you. What is? I will have nothing to do with you. I will carry out fate that you have been given to me, so I won't entertain you. Nothing to do with you? The witch's features twisted in a hatred for just an instant. It disappeared immediately, but this expression that rose on her face for only a brief time was unusual for a witch who had never broken her malicious smile. I suppose that's the only way to resist? Interesting. I like it. I'll kill you. Together with your lover. If that's the fate you have decided, then it's up to you. I won't be afraid of that or go against it. Because I don't believe that the grim fate that will start occurring now is something controlled by your will. We humans don't know anything about our possible future fates. This is how we'll live to the fullest, following our old beliefs and destinies until the last. Fate is just a roll of the dice. Oh my god. You can't feel malice in it. Try as you might to inject some, I won't believe you. Why are you... Okay. I mean, it makes sense why she thinks that Beatrice exists in the end sequence with Butler. But this is a kind of sharp state of mind. Wouldn't she try to say that Beatrice doesn't exist just to get poke at her in the end? Why would she agree? That's interesting. Or kinda dumb. Depending on how you're looking at it. Huh. Even though you have stopped being furniture, you have no fear of death. It seems you think that will bore me, and that's a huge misunderstanding. I am now at all more interested to see whether you really can stick to it until your last moments. It's so frustrating. Why did you take the form of human, appear in front of us, speaking with humorous words, and ridicule us? If you hadn't appeared in front of us, if you hadn't predicted the future, we would have been able to live life to the fullest until the last moment. That's what witches do. We live with our fates, reigning as a high-order being does over low-order beings. After all, your fates are merely fragments. If we cup our hands together, we can scoop out as many as we want. In the same way that the beef cattle, in the same way that the beef cattle I raised can babble with Excuse me? In the same way that the beef castle I raised can bubble what they will, and it won't change the fact that they will add splendor to my dinner table. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, no matter. We are powerless, so we can go against your ritual or our fates, but I can't do something that will make you unhappy right now. Huh. What would that be? I will walk away from this place right now. Answering your words only entertain you. Not answering your questions is the only way I can resist you. I see, I see. You may be able to take a shot at me, but you cannot defeat me, you know? I have the power to kill anyone for eternity. I can't wait to see how long you can keep up the resistance in an endlessly repeating cycle of death and rebirth. Don't forget it now. You spoke those words yourself. Yeah, go away, go away. Well done. Oh my god, she was mad for a second. She was just silently had a mad stare and she was staring at Beatrice. Uh-oh. Well done. If you excuse me. If you have any business, please call me. Shannon gave a reserved bow as she would to a stranger and faced away. With that gesture, maybe she really had taken a shot back at the witch, just as Beatrice had mentioned. Because when the witch called out again, he sounded a little more quick-tempered than she had before. Come on, thank me. Aren't you going to? Not going to thank me for giving you the day of rest? Furniture will be happy about the day of rest, but I'm a human, you see? So I have nothing to thank you for. Will that be all? You plan to receive the ring from George? Don't forget that if you do, I will abandon your promise I made with Canaan and promise that you would not be selected as a sacrifice. I wonder if their character growth is linear, actually. Even though days repeating, Shannon wasn't quite like that at the first night. And I suppose the cycles, the episodes are like different ways that events of this night could go, so maybe there's some link between characters' consciousness or something. I don't know. It seems like Ken went through some character development through the last episode to this episode. I wonder if she actually gonna torment her like every time now. If there is anything further, I'll have someone else come to you, if you will excuse me. A flat-out interruption. Shannon gave no more answers, and the sound of the door closing came instead of an answer. It seems that Chan's resistance had probably stuck far more deeply into the witch than Chan herself had thought, because an expression of hatred had once again risen on Beatrice's face. Beatrice is so interesting. What are you doing, honey? She had made Karen submit even though he hadn't been taken in until the end. Yet after that, now it was Shannon who refused to submit, when until now she had been easily taken in. Oh? This is interesting after all. I suppose I'm not so old yet. This is why I'm still not tired of living 1,000 years. I wouldn't be tired of living after 1,000 years, so, you know, it's not that impressive. The most fabulous time in the family conference. Wait, do you think if a person who lives 1,000 years, for some reason, I don't know why, not specified why, if they had mental illness, will that mental illness carry with them for 1,000 years more? Or will it just go away at some point? I'm just interested. It feels as if it could be good if mental illness would just go away after like 500 years. But it super depends on how are you living 1,000 years. Is your brain is intact? Remember you like in fucking an eye with a consciousness or something? I don't know. That's upsetting. Can you imagine living 1,000 years with the brain you have now and your all the shit that you was struggling at your at your 20s, you're gonna struggle at your 880s? Isn't it awful? It seems like a torment, to be fair. Not that I'm against it. The most fabulous time in the family conference. That was a dinner. Back when Kinza had been serious about the family conference, he had placed extreme importance upon this dinner, for which everyone would gather just once a year. Should the dinner not met standards, he would take it as a deeper shame for himself as the host. And he had strongly ordered Natsuhi to make absolutely sure that it was one to be proud of. Because of that, she and Kraus had employed Goda, who had confidence in his cooking abilities. As a result, they could unveil a wonderful dinner they had confidence in. Yet by this time, Kinzo had started closing himself up in his study and no longer appeared for dinner. Maybe you could call it ironic. When the main dish for tonight, calf steak, was set out, Goda began to brag about it, except further exciting everyone's appetite. I love when people brag about food. It's actually one of the best things to do. Bragging about food is cool as hell. The sauce was in bordelaise. The sauce here is bordelaise. Is you gonna tell me what it is? Of course, the red wine base I used was excellent, even among sauce made in Bordeaux, but in addition, I prepared an original blend of this house, a blend of a choice alcohol from around the world to further deepen the taste. This sauce would be exclusive to this year. I actually have a bottle of cooking wine, and I don't know what to cook with this. I'm really upset because I really wanted some cooking wine like maybe half a year ago, but now I have some. And I don't have anything to cook it with. That's upsetting. The sauce would be exclusively to this year. It would greatly please me if you were to enjoy yourself. Isn't it wonderful? However, isn't bordelaise sauce common to French cooking? It almost seems like using alcohol from outside French with that is heresy. Crow-sama, today is the annual family conference. As a dinner for those who normally live far away and have traveled far from across the world to gather together. Huh? Some of them lives outside of Japan? Really? I realized that the sauce made from a blend of fine alcohols from across the world that would normally never met would be most fitting, so I had it specially prepared. Wonderful! A truly wonderful cook. That's what you are. Food and medicine work twice as well if you advertise it right. It's twice as delicious as normal food, and the advertising makes it twice as good as it can. It's not advertising, he just said he used a good wine. How is this? I mean, it is kind of advertising. But he could as well be like reciting facts and I'll be like, holy shit, that sounds so much better. The food sounds so much better. The taste kept doubling and doubling. Come on, Nissan. Didn't he see that question coming? No doubt. You let Goda-san run right off with your moments. Is it so? I just thought there might be some people here who didn't notice that today's food was in the French style. Just now, Eva said that not using butter was a virtue, but that is Spanish style. Well, I guess they do share butter, right? That's not what I meant. Will you please not take a part of a conversation out of context and misquote me? It is a delicious sauce. Goda-san, you certainly are wonderful. It is a great honor to receive your praise, and this is all thanks to Madam's habitual guidance. No, it was all Goda's idea. I only listened to the recipe and approved it. Recipe. It looked like the siblings quickly got into loud argument about something as trivial as the sauce, but for the most part didn't proceed peacefully. However, the thing that they all really wanted to ask about smoldered inside each of their hearts. And that was a visitor, the 18th person, the Golden Witch. In actuality, Eva, Rudolph, and Curie were on alert during dinner. And Rosa too! If the mystery guest was to be introduced, this dinner table was the most appropriate place to do it. However, no plates has been prepared at the table for the witch. Yeah. The family conference would begin in earnest after the meal, and previous experience told them that it could last until deep into the night. But they couldn't understand what meaning there could be in keeping this person who should be introduced hidden until late at night. At death's door. Uh-oh, is it time to read a dinner? To read a letter? So Eva, Rudolph, and Curie was started to suspect something. That the guest might actually be unknown to Kraus as well. If she was a saboteur called by Kraus to give him an advantage in the inheritance problem, they should probably speak frankly to Kraus beforehand and create a common front of resisting anything disadvantageous to the four siblings. If she was Kinza's saboteur, whose purpose was to keep the inheritance from being handed over to the false siblings, the enmity between Kraus and the other siblings could become nothing more than a weak point that benefited the enemy, Well done, please enjoy at your leisure. With the table set and the cuisine explained, Goda tried to leave the room, but Curie called for him to stop with a small voice. Yes, Curie-sama? What is it? I'm sorry, I thought there was a guest here today. Will we not be seeing her at the dinner? She had thought she'd said it nonchalantly, but unfortunately it reached the ear of Natsuhi, who was sitting in the next seat. It seems that Natsuhi had heard it to mean even though there were guests here today. When the host be coming for a dinner, she thought Curie coming She thought that Curie is talking about Kinza. In other words, that Curie had asked whether Kinza was going to come to dinner, right? The health condition is no good, so he said that he will be taking his dinner in the study. My husband explained that at the beginning. Is something... I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. In an instant, Curie realized from Natsuhi's reaction that this unknown visitor was also unknown to Kraus and his wife. And what that mean? On the chessboard placed inside Curie's mind, she could feel the arrangement of the pieces changing, making loud clattering sounds. A guest? It seems that Butler, who was sitting next to Natsuhi, had heard Curie's words without misunderstanding them, and he let out a wild voice questioning who else could have been invited to today's family conference. Thanks to that voice, the uncomfortable feeling in the siblings' chest suddenly exploded. Everyone looked at Goda at the same time. Judging by their appearances, it was obvious that at least no one here had invited that mysterious woman. For an instant, Goda had started to find everyone's gaze scattered on him, but because of his naturally vain personality, this actually gave him a feeling of superiority. Therefore, he answered in an extremely calm and graceful manner. Yes, she wanted to eat alone in the VIP room, so her food was carried over here. Therefore, Gerda's extremely graceful and reasonable response made it obvious to everyone that an 18th person, a visitor, existed. A VIP room? A guest? What and who are you talking about? Natsuhi's words echoed the questions that everyone who didn't know about the visit of a golden witch was thinking. Goro was slightly disoriented, as though he hadn't remotely expected to be questioned by Natsuhi. That honored guest has been spoken of so strangely. He hadn't imagined that Kraus and his wife might not have known. It's Beatrice-sama. Beatrice! Si, Beatrice-sama! Maria has been telling the other cousins over and over again that she had met Beatrice today. The cousins had answered saying, "Isn't that nice?" but they hadn't believed. So their eyes grew wild. Sorry. I was sure you were joking, Maria. So she really does exist. By Beatrice, you mean that Beatrice of the gold? I've been saying she exists the whole time. No one believed. Sorry, Maria-chan. We didn't mean to. After learning that everyone had doubted Beatrice's existence, Maria, who had been in a good mood all day, completely lost her temper. George, who was sitting next to her, had tried frantically to calm her. Goda, is there another bit of a dinner entertainment? Quite a good performance. Aniki, drop the act. You called her, right? Called? Called who? From where? Nissan, let's have a clear answer. Who is that? Surely you aren't going to tell us that it really is Beatrice from the portrait, right? I don't have a clue what are you people talking about. Goda, is this seriously not a joke? I was just ordered by Genji-san, call Genji, now! When Natsuki yelled, Goda shot out into the hallway. The sound of a door being thrown open at the time triggered a sudden uproar around the dining table. You say you don't know either, Aniki? Who called her? Was it Dad? I don't know anything about this. It seems that you people believe that I have been pulling the strings behind the scene, but that was a huge misunderstanding. Calm down, Kraus-Nissan. We aren't at the stage that we can sound each other anymore. If you're saying that you don't know any mystery person either, the situation becomes ridiculous. Hideyoshi-san, won't you be a little more discreet with your words? My husband would not invite unnecessary people to the family conference. Honestly, what are you people talking about? Are you saying that the witch of a portrait has broken out of her frame and appeared? There is no way anyone has actually met the witch. Uh-oh, bad news for him. I met her? Eva Randolph nodded at Rose's proclamation. I met you too. Uncle Crows, believe! Believe Mama! The brief tension was broken and Maria also started to make ruckus. The room was now chaotic. I don't have a clue what's going on, so what's going on? The witch who gave Grandfather the gold has appeared as a special guest in this year's family conference? But really? Auntie Rosa didn't see it wrong, did she? I met you too! Auntie Rosa, are you sure? Yes, Maria and I met her and even talked to her. I met her. That was definitely a witch. Believe me, I definitely didn't see it wrong or hallucinate or anything. What was that? In the instant before the typhoon visited, Rosa had definitely met with a witch in the rose garden. But that scene had been so hardly to accept as reality. And the more she spoke of it like this, the less she understood what it was that she had met. Ironically, because she had lost her composure when she said she had definitely met the witch, the more desperate she became, the more vague the witch's existence seemed. So it was a single composed sentence that affirmed her existence for certain. Yakuri, told her. I met her as well. We exchanged greetings. Well, they could be hardly called that. A few words at least. It's definitely not something that Rosa-san saw wrong. Kiri-san, are you serious? Yeah, but she didn't tell me her name, so I can conclude that she was Beatrice. However, sorry if it is subjective. To be fair, if Zed's portrait was always on a on a wall, instead of a portrait where Beatrice in a huge dress, I would say that Kinzo has some weird fetish. What is this? What is this shit? Like, this would look really out of place in a mansion in this like baroque or really luxurious style. I'm looking for clear. Yeah. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Look at the fucking ties, cup, whatever. What is this outfit? Actually, I love this painting. At this point, it's kind of iconic. However, sorry if this is subjective, but since I met her in the entrance hall, I was able to compare her face with the portrait. My first impression was that she was undoubtedly the portrait subject. This is all just subjective, remember? This isn't possible! In the first place, where did this woman come from? The only boat today was a round-trip journey of one of the escort you all have. Was she riding on a boat? I admit it. That's a bit of a weak spot. Fuck, that's a bit of a weak spot. Of course, I have no memory of such a woman getting off the boat with us. Is it really? How can you prove that there wasn't a boat other than the one we rode on? You can't. You can prove one didn't come. You can't prove one didn't come. You can't prove one didn't come. Okay. Whatever. That's right. You could prove that it came. Someone who saw it just has to say so. But you can't prove that it didn't come. Even if everyone says that it didn't come, that they didn't see it, you can't deny that it could have come secretly. It's a thing called the devil's proof. Ooh. Not the devil's proof. Hold on. Ouch. Pouring the rest of my water into my cup. It's easy to prove that devil exists. All you have to do is admit the devil. But it's impossible to prove that devil doesn't exist. Ooh, agnostic witch? Is it really called agnosticism in English? It should, right? Quick bang search. Agnostic. Oh, it is real. Okay. So viewer believes that the existence of a god, of the divine or supernatural, is unknown or unknowable. Unknowable. Hold on. I got a glimpse of my browser game. Now I need to go and check what's going on. And nothing's good is going on. Where the fuck is Mithril? 7 hours, okay. It's really to prove that the devil exists, yeah, but you have to do is meet a devil. Just because no one has ever met a devil doesn't mean you can't deny the possibility that they're hiding away somewhere that humans cannot go. You can't deny the existence of aliens for exactly the same reasons. Until humanity searches the whole of space and can show perfectly that aliens don't exist, you can be sure that they don't. And it's definitely impossible for us to even check the eternity of space for the existence of aliens. Therefore, while there may be a number of ways to prove that aliens do exist, it is impossible to show proofs that deny their existence. In that case, we should just be wasting our time discussing whether or not a boat separate from the one we rode on Cayman Island. She wasn't on the boat with us. That much is a fact, and she must have visited the islands through some other means. That's right. There may be no need to discuss how she came here. The essential point is the fact... The essential point is the fact that she actually is in her mansion now, and she doesn't feel like having dinner with us. Is Rosa gonna interfere and say that Maria said that she saw Beatrice here for like years and years before? Let's review. Right now there is another guest on the island, other than the 18 of the Shiramiya family, and that is the guest that even Aniki and Natsuhini-san don't know about, right? I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Be silent for a while. Your headache will get worse. It is as my wife say, I have no idea what you people been talking about up until now. But then there can be only one answer. Father called her for today's family conference. Was a family conference? And for what reason? I didn't know that. I thought you knew, Nissan. That's why I thought I'd question you. Eva, could you give it a rest? Kraus Nissan said that he doesn't know. So this is what we got. Father stealthily invited the witch as a portrait, as a secret guest. I mean, they're not right and they're not wrong in their reasoning, right? And Rosa-san met her, Maria-chan met her, and Curie-san met her too. That's all we know for now. If she had something to say to us, she could just quickly show herself. Rosa, time to speak up. So what I want to know is why in blazes she shut herself up without greeting us. You think maybe dads never get any interest in the family conference from the beginning and just secretly call a new mistress here? And had her dressed up as his ideal witch? Nah, this day holds too much significance to come to the conclusion. There can be only one reason to join in on a family conference. She wants to calm something right to the father's inheritance. Preposterous! The head would never have something as filthy as a mistress. Oh, he definitely would. I told you to be silent. I've been in the mansion with father for a considerable time and I haven't heard about this once. Let me humor you as best as I can. You say father had a hidden child with a mistress of several decades past, and father searched her out and called her here today? Is that what you want to say? That would be awful from if it actually would happen. This would be like so dramatic. I'm having fun. Dear, father would never have something like that. To waste the noble blood of the XIII family on a mistress. This is nothing more than a few people saying that they saw something. It's obviously a fantasy, an illusion, a daydream. Where is Genji? Excuse me? Where's Genji? Didn't I call for Genji? Genji can confirm for you. And also, why the fuck Rosa is still sitting here silent? She had to talk about the letter. Oh, or are you all taking part in some kind of act to entrap my husband? What act? If anyone acting is you. Kuriranki, she said, is a slightly reckless way, but Natsuki-san is correct. Kuri saw her, but I did not. Neither did you, Aniki. But Rosa did. However, it means that she exists. Because there is someone who can prove that she exists, we directly conclude that she exists. It's the opposite pattern of devil's proof. And I want to meet you too. What a great title that fits perfectly with today's reading events. I'm so proud. And I want to meet her too. And I want to ask her directly what kind of business she had with the Yoshiramiya family. I agree with you on that. I truly wish to inquire as to what business she had in Rokijima. Don't act like you don't know. She's after one thing. It's father inheritance. We should form a forward-looking strategy with a lawyer knowledgeable about inheritance issues. If the mistress claims the same right as mother, then our shares will cut half, right in half. Uh-oh, poor for you. Wait a second, everybody. Genji-san will come very soon. He knows everything. I'm sure he will answer our questions. Thank you, Rosa. I would really appreciate if you open the letter now. Until then, let's stop talking about this. Open the letter! Come on now, kids. Sorry, but we'll those have to start talking about something a little complicated. Is Maria gonna tell her read the letter? Go back to the guest house. Rosa yelled at children, slightly emotionally. The children didn't understand why they were suddenly being yelled at now, but even the rest came to the same realization as Rosa after a delay. They were talking about so grandly about the filthy topic of the inheritance in front of the children. There was no way that they wanted the children to remain here. So they all immediately agreed with Rosa's plan. That's right, just as Rosa-san says. George, take all the cousins and go back to the guest house. You all play nice together, you hear? George, do as you're told. Take all of the cousins and leave right now. Wait a second, Mother. We haven't finished eating yet. We still haven't had dessert. We will have Gora-san carry desserts to the guest house. So leave. How would he do this? Or maybe under some tray? Okay, that does make sense. Jessica, from here on the adults will be talking together. Go. Fine. Even though it's only half eaten. So I guess I'm not going to be the only exception. Thank you for understanding, Butler-kun. But if you're lucky, you know. Why? I want to live if I could. I bet you would. I'll let you adults enjoy a happy family chat about the inheritance. I will also leave my seat. It appears that I have no place here tonight. And just softly rose from his seat. He had been calmly watching the whole discussion from his seat at the farthest corner of a table without pointlessly interrupting. His reaction was very adult, like a calm old gentleman. When Nanja rose from his seat, it urged on other people who were supposed to leave. As the children noisily rose from their seats, a common commotion was heard from a hallway as the servant returned. I apologize for taking so long. I have called Genji. I was checking to see what all those doors and windows were shut, so it took me some time. Ooh, interesting. My apologies. Come on, children, go to guest house. Gora-san, I'm very sorry, but could you carry the dessert to the children to the guest house? I see. Is that what you wish? It seems that Gora did not appreciate that the dinner has been worked so hard on and was going to be interrupted like that. He sent Natsuhi a look as though asking her whether she was really alright. Do as Rosa-san says. Also, it will not be necessary to serve that dessert for us. Be sure to approach the dining hall until we call you. Tell that to the rest of the servants too. Understood? Yes, certainly. Come, everyone. Shall we go? Maria-san, you too. You must not trouble your mother any further. I want to talk about Beato! No! Maria-chan, will you tell us about Beatrice in the guest house? I really want to hear about those witches, okay? You're really good, George-san. I'm impressed. Are you sure you don't have kids? You're too used to this. Maria's mood was completely back to normal at George's words. A lot of really frustrated dialogue because none of them are actually talking about what's important. And she even took the initiative in hurrying everyone to go to the guest house. It looked like Gora didn't like being kicked out himself, but he was unable to disobey Natsuki and left the room with the butler and the rest, closing the door. Do you all have some business with me? Yeah, we do. A bunch of it. And that is for all of us. So much that we almost want to draw lots to see who asks the first question. Though I believe that no matter who draws the winning lot, the first question would be the same. No doubt. Genji-san. Answer us honestly. This woman called Beatrice in the VIP room right now. Who is she? Good. So glad that I can see and find the answer. At least we read a chapter, right? That's nice. Wedding ring. Uh-oh. Hiroshi calms at advertising doublets the ways. Hiroshi's columns at advertising double the taste was apparently right. Sorry. The kids and the Nanji who had been chased out to the guest house gathered in the cousin's room and were eating the cake that Kumasawa had brought here for dessert. Oh, I would love some cake. It was both wonderful and high class, with a lavish amount of cream and decorated deliciously with fruits. But even though it was delicious, for some reason it didn't taste quite good. Without Goda-san advertising, it doesn't taste nearly as good. And good freaking luck asking Kumasawa-bachan for advertising, but she'll just say it made out of mackerel. Really? You can make cake out of mackerel? Oh goodness, yes, this cake too. If you mix the squeezed juice of mackerel in with the flour and eggs and bake it up, it come out all fluffy. Actually could be true, isn't it? Actually could be true. Wasn't there some type of cake flour you can make that includes some seafood liquid? I don't remember what exactly. That would be incredible if true. Maybe mackerel cake will show up in a new menu at Fuzzy Stars. Because mackerel is full of nutrients and has a healthy image. It could be really popular with women and old people, but I'm not gonna get anywhere near it. You also want to eat something that weird. Even old people would wish to climb. But it's delicious. Kumasawa was really raising the mood with the mackerel jokes. And one bit, this woman has one joke and she's constantly using it. Almost like me. If I had jokes, if I were funny. Kumasawa was really, yeah. But the sound of a downpour and rain invariably forces their concern on a mystery guest. In the end, they ended up showering Maria with questions again, and she was the only person who have met Beatrice. I never believed that story was true. From the way you say it, it sounds like this wasn't the first time you heard that Maria was meeting a witch, but even if you didn't believe it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty typical fairy tale for people of the imaginative age. Exist! Beatrice exists! Every year when we come to the family conference, I can see her and we play together. That's right. Another Beatrice-sama, although Beatrice-sama doesn't usually show herself. I heard that she sometimes unexpectedly appeared before honest people with clean hearts to play pranks. Beatrice was a name which referred to the being in the fairy tale about the Rokujima witch. Because the family and the servants publicly accepted the image of a witch of Kinza's delusion to keep him in a good mood, it became established as Rokujima's fairy tale or maybe ghost story. To the family members who knew that history, the fairy tale of the Golden Witch didn't have much substance. However, they hadn't been able to say that in front of Kinza. To those who didn't know the history, like Jan Maria, for example, it definitely wasn't an unsubstantial, but a real legend of a witch. So Maria believed in a legend of a witch. She swallowed it whole. It was natural for a imaginative girl who believed in witches. So no one said anything to betray her dream. On the contrary, they arranged things together to get her excited about her dreams. So even on those times when Maria-chan showed off a candy and said that Beatrice has given it to her, I thought that somebody had probably slipped the candy into Maria-chan's handbag or something to create that impression. I have also put on such performances on a few occasions in the past, secretly passing sweets somewhere for her. Probably Kumasawa-san too. No, I expect all of the servants and all of the Shiramiya family have done it once or twice. So, if it will make a small, innocent kid happy, you sometimes plan it together and play some sweets somewhere. In that case, I bet you do that kind of thing all the time, right, Chochenki? Who knows? Admitting that would probably unrefined. George admitted that while being extremely wary that Maria didn't find out. In other words, it's kinda like Santa Claus. To protect a kid's dreams, the parents plot together a lie and setting presents at the bedside of a kid's fast asleep. I mean, you don't want to protect kids' dreams. As for me, I obviously found out that Santa didn't exist for a long time ago. Uh-oh. But if it was only not to wake from the dream I have liked to have believed in my whole life. Is Santa Claus actually real in this universe? Could it be? Because they know the world is tough. Adults want to at least protect a child's untrained dreams. Beatrice exists! Exist! Oh goodness, certainly. Beatrice-sama does exist, you know? I mean, some people saw her today, so yeah. Some time ago, when I was drying my krill to make some black tea, all of a sudden... Well, that's basically how it went. Or at least how we thought it went. To sum up, she's a witch that supposedly no one believed in except for Maria. Those words don't quite explain it. It's not that we didn't believe, we were trying to let her believe. So this was about not betraying the child's innocence. Does Rosa know about that? She would not be happy with this, isn't she? But Santa doesn't exist in reality. If you don't want them to be all disappointed when they learn that, you should just not give them the dream in the first place. Did I think like that because I was still a long way to becoming a full adult? Butler had finally attained a level of understanding about the true form of Rokujima witch, but the current situation led an even higher level of understanding than that. All overrun all its premises. That's all we believed the witch Beatrice-sama to be, but then she actually appeared. Right. Furthermore, judging from her parents' uproar, it looked like she wasn't an invited guest. That sounds kinda interesting. There's actually no basis to say that a woman called Beatrice doesn't exist. It's Uncle Rudolph called a devil proof. None of us knew that a woman calling herself Beatrice existed. But that doesn't mean we can deny the possibility that Beatrice exists. Dr. Nancio, you've been friends with grandfather for a long time, right? There was a period when I was questioned quite a lot on this topic in a family conference by Krauss-san and the others. The topic of whether Kinza-san may have mistress long ago and even a hidden child with her. I see. Our parents' heads are full of the distribution of the inheritance, so it's blindly obvious that if the daughter of a mistress show up, it means trouble for them. Krauss-san and the rest probably asked Genji-san about it first. However, Genji-san has sworn loyalty to Kinza-san as his right-hand man and is probably more trusted friend to Kinza than myself. I imagine Genji-san didn't tell them anything, so they turned to me as his next oldest friend, I suppose. And when all is said and done, Dr. Nanjo, did grandfather have a mistress called Beatrice? Yeah. He did. No, I have never met her. However, I have heard from Kinzo-san that he did have a relationship with a woman like that. He said that she passed away a very long time ago. I have a lot of questions to she passed away. She's dead. And did she have a kid with her? That I did not know. But Kinzo-san always said that he's researching how to revive Beatrice. Usually, if one loses a lover and has a child left for them, they would pour all that love for the child. We already heard this. Therefore, we naturally saw that there probably wasn't a child between Kinzo and Beatrice. Oh, she looks different because it's supposedly a child. Okay. That makes it a devil proofs as well. It does. It's impossible to prove that he didn't have a child with a mistress. So now that she's actually appeared, we have to assume that he did. That's a bit of a rushed argument. It's more realistic that someone caught wind of a trouble over the Shirami inheritance issue, found out about grandfather's relationship with the mistress long ago, and impersonated her, trying to work their way into the inheritance issue. It is more realistic. However, we can't deny the possibility that she really is a hidden child, who lived in isolation, forgotten by grandfather, and who's returned for revenge, right? Yet again, Tsukihime much? What is this? Revenge? The hell did that come from? Sorry. I'm the guy, we just like to embellish things to make them more interesting. I've seen too many weird dramas. Normally, it would have been a lightly joke, but it had come when a mystery guest calling herself Beatrice, who no one had invited, had marched in on one of the family conference the day of the inheritance distribution discussion, which even without the witch was threatening to become a bloodbath. There was no way that Butler's joke would be welcomed with laughter. So it was a really big help when Nanji laughed energetically to calm everyone down. I see. That does sound quite interesting. I should love to read a novel with a plot like that. Well, I don't think that could happen in reality. After all, right now, on this island, there's 18 people, right? If she did something weird, we could immediately restrain her. And thanks to the typhoon, she can't even leave the island. Basically, there's just no way she could even begin to pull off a crazy crime like that. He said, absolutely without any foreshadowing whatsoever, he said, and the monkey paw crawl? Okay, that's a wrong use of a monkey paw probably, but you know. I agree. In a dead end without any way to escape, yeah, monkey paw would be if he would says, oh, I wish Beatrice was real, and then the monkey paw crawled and Beatrice is actually a witch who came here to kill all of you. I agree, in a dead end without any way to escape in a situation where everyone is suspicious of her. I really don't think she could pull off a terrifying revenge strategy like this. I imagine not. If revenge was her aim, it would be even more realistic for her to come in secret without showing herself. You don't often hear about people appearing openly for revenge except in historical plays. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Revenge is based on emotions, not freaking logic. And if she wants revenge so badly, she's ready to give her life for it. She might not be much afraid of the police or a number of people, but there is no way out. It's alright, Jessica-chan. Nothing as horrible as we imagine will happen. That's like the battle royale between our parents over the inheritance isn't horrible. You're right. Dad and Uncle Rudolph are pretty rough, and Aunties Eva even trained in the martial arts. We're okay. Yeah. Jessica didn't say it, but she had vaguely noticed that your own father opposed all the siblings regarding the inheritance. They acted like everything was good in front of the children, but when that pretense was lifted away, like it had been a dinner, it would become a tumultuous uproar. It was only natural that Jessica, realizing that, would be frightened that her father and mother had gotten into some kind of trouble, and were about to be sacrificed for something terrifying. Seriously, George Young is right. Nothing gonna happen, even if she pretends she's a witch. What can a single human woman who can't even use magic do? Butler, oh no! Holy fuck. The sudden creepy laugh made all of us jump. And when we realized that this strange laugh was coming from Maria, we were shocked again. So that's how it is. That's your perception, isn't it, Butler? What is? Don't laugh all creepy like that. You accept Beatrice's existence for now. At least you accept her as an 18th person and guest. But that's all, right? You don't accept that an 18th person, Beatrice is a witch, right? You surprised us all for that? Of course I don't. There's obviously no such thing as witches. Oh, he's loyal to his ideology. He's loyal in every timeline. He's good at it. It's impossible for it to be anything other than human woman pretending to be one. I said the ideology, I mean like way of thinking, yeah. That makes no sense, Butler. That's a devil's proof, you know? There's obviously no such thing as witches, but that just means you'll never met a witch, and doesn't mean you can deny that witches exist, right? Yeah, but Beatrice's existence is actually constructed that way, that if you don't believe in her, she actually doesn't exist. So here as well, he can don't believe in her as much as he wants. Sorry. My nose is itchy. That's right. That really is right. I can prove that witches don't exist. However, even if I can prove it, I can calm it. I calm that witches doesn't exist. How? How can you calm that witches doesn't exist even though you can prove it? Because stuff like this doesn't exist. It's actually kind of stupid if you think about it like that, but I respect it. I respect it. Like, this butler is stupid, but the other butler is just stubborn, and he's right, he's doing it for a good reason, so, you know, fuck them witches, I guess. If Beatrice don't exist, actually, please, I didn't say that. I love you, I would, call me. I really need divine intervention in my life as soon as possible. Thank you, and please. And that's a QED. Proof concluded without any evidence of basis. Excuse me. QED. Roman. QED. Or is initialism of the Latin phrase Quod erat demonstratium, mean which was to be demonstrated. Ooh. That's the first time I'm hearing about this. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Very interesting. Me. Why is my nose so itchy? A classic example of how ignorance shelves its problems. A reckless suspension of thought. Oh yeah, Maria is so dumb, and she just knows all of this for the attention. I mean, she actually doesn't know anything, and she's just doing the shit about witches for attention. She's like, what is this? What is it? She could be a freaking lawyer at this point. I don't know. She could be a lawyer that specifies into like people who are into doing weird shit for Satanism or something. That would be cool. That's a cool character concept, isn't it? Like Phoenix Wright, but only the person. It's actually Phoenix Wright. Oh my god. I meant to say Phoenix Wright, but who only specialized in like magical, in quotes, cases, but it's actually Phoenix Wright. It's turning serious. Especially the later games. Can you imagine this shit? Freakish Phoenix Wright. The reckless suspension of thought. In that case, I have one answer, Maria. The witch side has to show some proof themselves. This is also the part of a devil's proof. If you bring one, it'll be over quickly. In our case, this lady calling herself Beatrice just has to perform some magnificent magic, like sending out some sparkle stars with her wand or something. And show us something that's impossible for humans, right? Come now, you two. Please settle down. Kumasama noticed that the atmosphere between them was getting worse and tried to calm them. It seemed as though Butler quickly realized that he was acting immaturely. But my expression didn't loosen. She kept staring at Butler as she laughed creepily. Actually, I was kind of disturbed by Maria being like this in the first episode, but now that I got a little more glimpse in her family life, I think it's okay. I think her being like that is, I mean, it's not okay in like moral perspective, but it's okay in a way. I don't angry at her for that. That's what I want to say. I'm not angry that she's like this. I'm not angry at her actions because, you know, she's just a fucking child who has really, really troublesome childhood. Poor fucking girl. Poor girl. Bad for her. If witches is what she likes and being creepy is what she likes. I mean, until it's confirmed that she actually did some harm in the first episode, until it's confirmed that there is like, she didn't do any harm to anyone, even still, I would still be really sympathetic to her. She's like, maybe despite how she presented in the story, she may be like the most innocent person who didn't do anything wrong for me in the story. She keeps staring at Butler as she laughed creepily. You could it too, Maria. Let's get back in a good mood, alright? Yeah, I'm not voice acting this. If that's what you want, Beatrice will show you, I'm sure. Something impossible for humans. And then you too will believe, right? About Beatrice? Sure. If she lets me take a look-see, I'll believe. It's a chess argument between the witch and you, Butler. If you get checkmate, you will believe in the witch. Oh, that's a stylish analogy. The witch shows her magic. My king is put into check. I quibbled, saying that it would be possible to reproduce that by measures even a human could take and create an escape from our king. If I can't do this, it's a checkmate. That's a pretty good analogy. Butler. In chess, you and your opponents have pieces which move in the same way. That's why you can't read your opponent's moves. But you know what? You haven't supposed that your opponent's pieces might be able to move in much more strange ways than yours. You simply assume that, since the witches couldn't exist, the movements of Beatrice's pieces will obviously be the same as your own. But the thing is, Sorry, Butler, but your chess partner isn't human. She is a witch. She can move your pieces in a way that humans can. Right now, your perception of that is wrong. Butler, you like anti-curious chessboard thinking, right? Yeah. I like that style of thinking where you can stand in your opponent's position. Opponents? And that's no good. Even though your opponent is a witch, you won't accept this. So you can understand the moves a witch can make, and your chessboard thinking won't work. Yeah, but it doesn't have to work. It's more about using all the tools that you have in your access, right? It's about using all the evidence and all you know about the humanity as a whole. So if Beatrice does something or she doesn't do something, it's not important. It's more important if you can like argue out of it in a conversation. So you don't actually need to try to understand how she does it. You need to try to understand like a human can do it. Your perception of your opponents is wrong. The very first premise of a chessboard thinking is broken down. Huh. Is that what you say? You cannot win in chess, Sonata? 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 You cannot win in chess against the witch. Oh, it's time for proposal. Okay. Minute darkness. Minute darkness? I don't know what happened after that. We servants were ordered not to approach the dining room. I see. So Shannon, have you even met this person called Beatrice before? I have no idea. Oh, liar. That was a slightly odd way to say it. I thought it didn't sound like she meant her memory was vague. For us servants, Beatrice-sama is another master of a mansion. Some speak as if we spread that rumor due to having been influenced by the master, but since the time we started working here, the story of Beatrice-sama was already whispered about. So this kinda contradicts what they were talking about in the first episode, when George was like... George didn't mention it. If this dialogue went in the first episode, George didn't mention it in the end of the first episode. So that confirms that this exact dialogue they didn't have this exact dialogue in the first episode. Because they skip a lot of parts of a story, right? So every part could be changed, could be different from the other part from other episodes. And I'm thinking the next episode will be different in some other ways. Since the time I started working here, the story of Beatrice-sama was already whispered about. I heard about this before, how you'll get cursed if you don't respect her, and how there was a servant who actually had an accident this way. Yes, but it is true that some people believed more or less than others. So, beliefs that respect for that sort of thinking shouldn't be forgotten, so I have never doubted that she exists. I dimly believe that uncertain being called the Golden Witch surely exists. And then that witch whose existence was uncertain actually showed herself and came in openly through the entrance hall. Is that what happened? I don't know. I don't know anything. When you brought her dinner, did you talk about anything? No, nothing. Uh-oh. It's bad to start your relationship like that, Shannon. You should tell him. You should tell him. You should tell him. Still a witch that eats food somehow doesn't sound so realistic. Maybe that's just someone who knows about the witch legend on the island, taking on Beatrice's name after all. I'm upset. Why Shannon wouldn't talk about this? It would be so beneficial for everybody. I think you probably come to respect Beatrice and think of her as something like a guardian goddess of a mansion. Guardian goddess of a mansion sounds cool. So then a person appeared actually calling themselves that. Maybe you were a little disturbed. Yes, I think that definitely could be it. George was slightly at loss as what to do about Chan's downcast appearance. Possibly, not just Genji, but also the young servant, including Shannon, had been strictly questioned about whether they had a clue as to who this person called Beatrice was. Thinking that, he had tried to cheer her up somehow. Like Maria and Jessica, Shannon too must be unable to completely hide her agitation over the sudden visit of a person calling himself the Golden Witch. He thought that must be the case, but George was no way of knowing what was in Shannon's heart. Shannon was bitter and sad. The door to the Golden Land would be opened. The witch has definitely told you that. That means the demise of everything. Even if she accepted the ring from George, now they could never be married. No. In the first place. Did furniture like her have the right to be married? Even if the witch hadn't come to tell of their demise, wasn't it fated to fail sometime or another? Hadn't she turned her gaze towards the fun days with George and purposefully closed her eyes to the sad reality? What's wrong? Oh my god. Dog making sounds, barking really loud. Barking is the word. Dog barking really loud outside for some reason. What's wrong? You've really been seeming down for a while now. George-san, what does it mean to be engaged? Huh? It means making a promise to marry. But the way I think of it, it means the same thing as marriage. Honestly, I want to take you as my wife right now and take you back home. Right now, I'm in the middle of training and I'm still a long way from gaining the ability needed to create my own castle. That's why I want to become an independent man first and only then probably take you home with me. You're so boring, George. You're so boring. I'm not talking about distant future. I just want you to wait a short 3 years. But even so, I don't want to lie about my feelings for the next 3 years. So... I'm sorry. So I decided to give you an engagement ring. That might be shameful reason as a man. An engagement because I want you to wait, because I can't balance a wife and a job, might be shameful. How old are you? Like 21? Shut up! But I will never... Thank you very much. I now understand that to you an engagement ring is just another present you would give it to lover. Oh my god. Of course not. An engagement ring isn't a simple accessory. It's an oath between lovers, a precious promise left in form of a ring. Damn it. In that case, if you got married quickly, it would become unnecessary, right? Then it will be an engagement ring I'll give you. I'd give it to you as a wedding ring. Either way, it wouldn't change the fact that I'll give you a ring. So it's like sales contract saying the woman is mine, nobody touch her. Kinda cringe, okay? No, that's not that I... George knew about his shameful character. When he had fallen for Shannon and sworn to become an excellent man, he had sworn to part ways with a shameful part of himself. So he chose to answer a little roughly on purpose, believing that Shannon would find it reassuring. No, that may be exactly it. Sayo, I'll make you my wife. I won't give you to anyone else. I'll make you all mine. So no one better lay a hand on you. That's what the ring is, without a doubt. Ooh. Okay. Thank you very much, George-san. I'm truly happy. Then, George-san, if it was decided by fate that this engagement ring, that this your promise would not be fulfilled, would you still give it to me? Shan was about to ask, but she swallowed her words, because George has already spoken the answer. George has said it. He had said that to him an engagement ring was infinitely similar to a wedding ring, I love the song. Therefore, accepting George's rings had a far more sacred significance than a promise to marry. Which is why I will stop calling this an engagement ring. From now on, this isn't an engagement. It's a wedding ring. Is this alright? Is this alright to, just proclaim that we are married without God's blessing? Fuck God. Yeah, it's enough to tell God, Father, Mother about afterwards. We'll declare the two of us have been joined in marriage. No one can overrun it. Dear son, I'm not saying that because of a momentary emotion. I'm not just looking at how you are now. I'm looking at how you will be tomorrow and next day. I'm even gazing at you as you'll be in old age, in the future, as I may say this. Actually, Disney us sounding son, okay? You're always telling me about that, George son. About how you want to spend your old age slowly, surrounded by sprightly children and grandchildren. Yeah, at that time, and older you get, and older you will be beside me. That is what I predict. No, what I foresee. Yes, because that day will surely come. Will it surely come? Is it okay for me to believe? Yes, surely, definitely. And this ring proves it without words. Show it to me, please. Huh? Here it is. George, thinking he was being told to show her the ring, hurriedly took out the ring box. Even though he had panicked so much, he hadn't been able to look cool. But Chan wasn't looking at that. With a straight and direct gaze, with faint tears and smile, she was staring right at George's eyes, no, into something she couldn't see before his eyes. Show me that future, please. Yeah. I'll show it to you, for sure. I promise. And not just until old age. After we die too. Even if we become spirits, we'll always, always be together. Shana wiped away her tears and took the ring box. Inside was a diamond ring, more than worthy of placing the two of them. George says the lines that he had practiced over and over again inside his head. Do people have different rings for engagement and for marriage, I wonder? I want to put that ring on you, but I want you to put that ring on whatever finger you like and have that be your answer. So by tomorrow morning. Oh, she's gonna do it right now. She's gonna do it right now. Sharon smiled, took her ring, and with a completely natural movement put it on the ring finger of your left hand. It really had looked like a very, very natural movement, and for a while, George was stunned. That's cute. This is my answer. No ring on a sprite? Ooh, we didn't have budget to draw a ring for all of your sprites now, Clear. No ring! Look at this! Look at this! Literally unplayable. 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 This is my answer. George-san. Shannon. No. Saya. Yay! Even if we've become spirits, we'll always, always be together. George-san. There was no blessing from God, no pastor to witness, nothing. But the two to be married had proclaimed it. Two souls were joined here today. That's it? End of a chapter? Say yes. No? Okay. Time to see... Oh. Nessan, you're an idiot. Am I really? Even though you're furniture. Even though you're furniture. I'm not furniture. Not anymore. Liar. Why are you fooling yourself? You know that you can never become human. You know that you can become human unless you go to the Golden Land. So why did you throw away the promise that enabled you to go to the Golden Land? Oh yeah, by accepting the ring, that promise with Beatrice-sama comes to nothing, doesn't it? Sorry. Now, me, you, George-sama, the master, each and every one of us has the same conditions. 13 people will be made sacrifices. Only 5 will be invited to the Golden Land. Are they on rotation? Is people who go to the Golden Land this time gonna be different people from ones that went here last time? Probably Butler gonna be in a 5 that gonna stay alive every time, right? Because he kinda is... what's the word? The guy who spectates. Spectator? Whatever. And you reject one of those places. Yourself. That's odd. It looked like you're the only one with lingering regrets, Kanan-kun. You're the one with regrets, aren't you, Nissan? You got engaged, right? She got married. Even though you knew it was a fate that would be never fulfilled. Yup. I promised that we would always be together for eternity. So, you know what? In this instant, our eternity was completed. Even if we become sacrifices, it's already completed. So it's alright. Karan-kun, you're the one who actually has regrets. We are furniture, right? No matter what the results, we'll be freed. In that case, it doesn't matter whether we go to the Golden Land or not. And yet, you're set on going to the Golden Land. You want to become human no matter what, right? Why? Because I want to become human. I've had enough of being furniture. Why? I wanted to fall in love as well. Tears spilled from both of Karen's eyes, and he howled. I liked my lady. And after seeing my lady on the day, I started liking her even more. And when I heard that my lady also liked me, I was really happy. What a dick. Tsundere move. Shannon is so much better in this situation, but I'm a furniture and I can't accept my lady's feelings. That's where you're wrong. We may be furniture. We may be less than human, but I learned that doesn't mean we aren't qualified to love. I believe that it couldn't make those feelings eternal. We are better without them. I mean, human feelings of love isn't eternal, but okay. I just decided that someday a day would come when it would disappear, and that would definitely hurt her. No, that's wrong. I was just frightened. I was just afraid and naughty and thought that if love could not be eternal, I was better off not knowing it. Nah. I hope introduction to the next chapter gonna be so much better without this shit about them being furniture and falling in love. Oh. Yeah, next episode better be better. Cicadas fall in love during the span of only a few weeks out of their whole lives, and then they disappear. I don't think there are any cicadas that don't fall in love because it will be over in a few weeks. It seems like Kanan was still speaking of his regret, but by now it was all jumbled up in his crying voice. I hate this witch. Why did she plant these feelings in me? If only she hadn't pulled that weird prank, I wouldn't have paid Milady any notice. Patricia-sama is so cruel, isn't she? To take you cry bitter tears, she played games with your fate. Was it really her, or did you just all have feelings for each other? Have you thought of that? But the witch probably isn't achieving what she plotted. After all, knowing love isn't a lingering attachment that ties you to life. It is the place we should reach out on our journey through life. It makes sense. That's a good quote. Not the worst one in an episode. Pum 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 pum. So, there you have it, Kanan. That promise you worked so hard for has now come to nothing. Well now, this is the condition for all the pieces are the same. There are 18 pieces, 13 will be sacrificed. Who will be the 5 survival? Who will 5 survivors be? Or will someone destroy this ritual? Who? How? Fucked up the bit. Uh-oh. Don't turn off your channel and stay tuned for more umineko. Umineko no Nakokoro ni. After this advertisement break. This isn't a chess problem, it's a game on equal footing. I won't be closing in one-sidedly. You can frantically run from my advances and make it a tie, a result of no contest. Well, the best you can do is have that repeat it over and over. And it probably won't be that difficult for you. However, this no contest result will continue forward, soon wearing down your mind and eventually killing it. At that time, you will accept your defeat and surrender to me. The reason I said it was a fair game, that is because the rules for my loss have to be established. There is nothing so boring as a game you can lose, you see. The way to defeat me, that is the epitaph oft to my portrait. Is Beatrice not the same Beatrice that is just sitting here in a room with Butler, in the metaverse or whatever? That it's both the way to open the door to the Golden Land and the key to destroying my ritual. I complete the ritual according to the epitaph. You solve the epitaph's riddle, destroy the ritual and overthrow me. Solve the riddle hidden in the epitaph and expose the location of the vast gold I gave to Ginza. What result will the game show us? I'm expecting a good fight from you. Entertain me, Shirimiya Butler. Yay! Clap, 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 clap. Oh, what is this? Huh? I have no objections. Natsuhi and I accept it. I can't believe, and I don't want to, but... There is really, isn't it? Natsuhi, choose your words more carefully. She's family most honored guest. Oh, are you meeting with Beatrice? We accept it too. There is nothing more to say. Yes, I accept it. I have absolutely no complaint. I can't believe that you really... I have to honestly respect you. Me too. Incredible. I genuinely respect you. So I have to accept it. I accept it too. I still can't believe it, but... What can you do? You're proven devils. You win. The devil's proof has a convenient excuse that you liked using to show that something was impossible to prove. But now it's become your mortal enemy, was it not? Don't torture me, Great Witch. I've already accepted you. I resign. Cutie, do you still have any objections? I must have everyone in agreement. If you alone will not accept my existence. As the witch loved broadly, the siblings started to panic. They were afraid of displeasing the witch. Curie lightly closed your eyes and after keeping silent for a while, opened your mouth. My apologies. I resign. Only Curie has faced the witch with stern eyes until the end. However, she had only been able to resist acknowledging the truth for a short while. The reality, the being, that was before her eyes couldn't be denied. Devil had already been proven. I also accept this. You are Beatrice, the Shirimiya family alchemist, and a user of a great magic. I must accept the fact that you are my witch, that you are a witch. Sorry. So what's gonna happen? Who's gonna die? Tell me. What was this chapel building? Where's a war? Oh, hi, hi. Oh, it's 12. 12 p.m. 12 a.m. 12:00 2400 0000. You really, when they zoom out to the portrait, you really want it to like blink at you or smile somehow. Oh, they're not talking. Okay. So, Killings is intact. Oh, I'm looking at you guys. I can't believe nobody told Kinzo that Beatrice is here in a human form and she couldn't came to see him. That's so unfair. And kind of stupid. And what was in the letter that Rosa saw? Ooh, new music. Is it? Should we end here? I actually need to go like really soon. October 5th, 1986. Halloween! 6 a.m. It's the second day. Let's end here, okay? If you watched, thank you for watching. What was the sound that always filled my ears? Okay, we'll read it next time. Sorry for the short stream. It is what it is. I'm gonna come back on Monday. See ya.